And if you saw my video yesterday or read my blog, you know that all this week we're talking about the 7-day mental diet, and today is part 2. So yesterday I gave you a brief introduction of what the 7-day mental diet is. We talked about the 3 basic rules for following it, and I gave you the first guiding principle. And so today I want to ask you, was anybody daring enough to try it? And if you did, how long did you last before a negative thought entered your head? It's not the easiest thing. And so I just want to, again, challenge you guys to give it a shot. But, one of the things that we don't even realize how automatic our thoughts are. And, our thoughts are just so ingrained in our head that we don't even realize that we actually choose them. Like a stimulus happens and it's just so automatic that we think of something, or we respond to that, and we don't even realize that we've already made a choice. And so, what I want to teach you guys is that you can actually control your thoughts, and you can learn to make a choice before you just automatically jump to conclusions or respond to a situation. And so one of the things with the 7-day mental diet, it is so much better to start first thing in the morning rather than, in the middle of the day after you've had a crappy day and you're like, okay, I'm going to change and I'm going to be all positive today at this point forward. That's not always easy. Okay, so if you start first thing in the morning and the very first thing you do is put a positive thought in your head, that's going to create, hey Shannon, how are you doing? That's going to create momentum for you. And once you create that momentum, it's going to become easier. So rather than starting after you've had a negative experience in the day, start off with a positive thought and go from there. And the more you do that, the more it's going to become habit. So when you become aware of your thoughts, you can actually stop them in their tracks. And pay attention to those conversations that we have in our head, because I don't know about you guys, but it's very easy for me to start off with a positive situation and then have it go downhill in my head so quickly just with the things I'm thinking. And they may not even be real. They may not even be something that's going to happen. But we tend to do that with ourselves. And, for instance, let's say that you've got a job interview for a job you really, really want, and you're super excited about it, and you're like, man, this is going to be the greatest thing ever, but I don't know, I'm probably not going to get it. They're probably not going to like me, and I'm terrible at interviews, and so that's just really not going to go well. Stop. Seriously. Why do we do that to ourselves? What if we changed our thoughts and said, what would happen if I go on this interview and it's amazing and I get the job and, it's going to be a cool thing. So why do we always flip that switch and go negative? So that's what we're trying to get away from. Just learning to do that. And so when a negative thought comes into your head, ask yourself, is this true? Is this something of value? Is this going to build me up and give me the life that I want to have? Or am I just creating conflict and negativity in my head? Because that is so easy to do. And when you're around negative people, yes, I've had very negative people in my life. And when you're around them a lot more, you tend to start going that direction. And so you really have to watch the people that you hang out with. And I have figured out that there are certain people that I just kind of have to stay away from. And not that I'm going to totally cut them out of my life, but I need to limit my exposure to them. So we may not hang out all the time, or we may not, when we are together, I keep it brief, or, just whatever. But, these are all choices that you can learn to make. And it's so important to, like when you have those negative thoughts come into your head, stop them and change the direction, and figure out, how can I flip this around to be a good thing? How can I make this be a positive thing? So, when you start really thinking about the things you think about, that sounds crazy, doesn't it? Like when you become a conscious thinker, like when you start paying attention to all of the thoughts that come into your head, which it's exhausting. I mean, if you are paying attention to all of the thoughts that you have in a day, which is, we have thousands of thoughts every single day. And like I said earlier, they're so automatic, our response is so automatic that we don't even realize we're making choices and we are like thinking those things. But so it could be really tiring to be paying attention to everything that we're thinking and to really be trying to be positive with our thoughts. And so what I want to challenge you guys to do is stick with it. Don't give up. Just because you get tired, or just because it's challenging to kind of stay positive, keep trying, and it's just like anything else. The more you do it, the easier it's going to get. I promise you that. So the more times that you are paying attention to what you're thinking and you cut those negative thoughts out, kick them to the curb, the more that you're paying attention to that, the easier it's going to get. And you actually will, it will become an automatic response, and you won't have to think about it anymore. Think about all those subconscious things that we do. Like, how many times have you driven somewhere and you get there and you're like, I don't even remember driving? Because it's something that we do so regularly that we don't even have to pay attention to it. The more you start taking those negative thoughts and getting them out of your head and paying attention to how you're thinking, the easier it's going to get, and it's just going to become one of those automatic things. So that's what I want to challenge you guys to do. So if you can devote 1 week, just 1 week, that's a 7-day mental diet is 1 week. Devote 1 week to really paying attention to how you think and to start flipping that switch and to really, keeping those negative thoughts out of your head, even in those times when you're distracted, and even in those times when you're being challenged and you're being tested and you're being pushed. Just really sticking to it in those times, you're going to persevere and you're going to be able to do this thing. Okay? So my hope is that you're going to be able to look back on this, like you accept the challenge and you go for it, and you're going to be able to look back on this and go, wow, I mean, that 1 week was when my life changed. That, hey Debbie, that one instant when I really stuck with it, that is when my life changed for the better. I mean, because seriously, my business is called Be Your Best You Coaching. And my whole goal is to help everyone be the best that they can possibly be. And a lot of that starts up here. It really does. It starts in your head. So, that's what we're working for. And so if you missed the episode yesterday, go back. You can watch the video. You can... Heather, that's awesome. I'm glad you're going to accept this challenge, because I think this will be really good for you. It's good for all of us, but especially I think you're going to love it. So, but seriously, so if you missed yesterday, go back, watch the video. You can go to my blog. My website is beyourbestYouCoaching.com. All of my blogs are there, so you can rewatch the video, read my blog. Stick with me for this next week, and let's watch how our lives can change together. So anyway, that's all I have for you today. I hope you'll come back again tomorrow, and we'll talk about the third guiding principle, and we are going to get you guys on the road to positive, happy, healthy thinking. And so I hope you guys have a great day, and I will talk to you later. See ya.